$1 million for a starter home. $1 million. America has reached a new high in the number of cities where a starter home now costs $1 million or more. On today's episode, I'm going to talk about what this means for the first-time homebuyer and what programs and negotiations they can take advantage of to make the American dream still possible. My name is Mark. Welcome to the Gentleman Broker Mortgage Brief. $1 million for a starter home. You heard that right. There are now more than 200 cities in 26 states that have starter homes of $1 million or more. For context, a starter home is considered the bottom third of values of homes for that area. While many of these cities are affluent coastal markets, and yes, a large number are in California, it still illustrates a trend that's hard to ignore. It reinforces something many of us have already been feeling. Higher home prices may be here to stay. But before I go any farther, let's get you caught up on this week's current mortgage rates. The average 30-year fixed rate is 6.43%. That's down from 6.49% the previous week and is the lowest average in about 7 weeks. Hey friends, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. I'd really appreciate the support. Now, before everyone starts thinking the American dream is dead, I know I shocked everyone with that opening, but let's put this into perspective. Even though there are now more than 200 cities with the $1 million starter homes, the typical starter home across the United States is still around $199,000 according to Zillow. So no, $1 million starter home isn't the norm, but it is a sign of something bigger. What my colleagues and I are seeing every day is that affordability continues to be one of the biggest challenges facing first-time buyers. Not just because home prices have increased, but because many buyers we talk to assume they need to save tens of thousands of dollars before they can even think about buying a home. Let's keep in mind, you do need to have some cash saved, but there isn't just one path to home ownership. FHA loans require as little as 3.5% down. USDA loans can require no down payment for eligible buyers and properties. And many states offer down payment assistance programs. When you combine those options with seller credits, which can help cover the closing costs or even buy down your interest rate, mind you, those are things buyers often could negotiate just a few years ago when homes were receiving multiple offers. With all that said, you put the right loan product with the right assistance or credits, and the amount of cash needed to purchase a home can be much more manageable. And suddenly, a buyer who thought home ownership was years away can be holding the keys to their first home and beginning to build long-term wealth. Let's actually talk about some of these programs. First, FHA. FHA loans are one of the most popular options for first-time home buyers because, again, they only require a 3.5% down payment for qualified buyers. They also tend to be a little more forgiving when it comes to credit scores and past credit challenges, making homeownership possible for buyers who may not qualify for some conventional loan programs. It's important to remember that FHA isn't just for first-time home buyers. Anyone who qualifies can use one, which is one of the reasons they've become one of the most common loan programs. Next is the USDA loan. Despite the name, USDA loans aren't just for farms. They're designed for eligible rural and suburban areas. And for the qualified buyer, it could mean no down payment at all. Many people are actually surprised to learn that some communities just outside major cities still qualify under USDA guidelines. It's one of the most overlooked loan programs available, and for the right buyer, it can be a game changer. And then there are down payment assistance programs. These programs vary from state to state, but many are designed to help qualified buyers with their down payment, closing costs, or even both. Some programs provide a second loan, some are forgivable loans after a certain number of years, and others don't have to be repaid until you sell or refinance the home altogether. Every program is different. If you're a real estate agent working with renters who have simply assumed they can't buy because they don't have a huge down payment, Encourage them to have a conversation with a trusted loan officer. They may be qualified for programs they didn't even know existed. And if you are someone wondering about what your options are as a home buyer, are wanting to know your numbers and what you qualify for, you could reach out to me at thegentlemanbroker.com. Look, buying a home is a big deal, but as we talk about these $1 million homes, we have to keep in mind it's called a starter home for a reason. Very few people buy their dream home right away. Most people buy a home they can comfortably afford, build equity over time, and let that home become the stepping stone to the next one. Every year I talk to people who tell me they're waiting until they have more money saved. And for some people, waiting is absolutely the right decision. But it should be an informed decision, not one based on the assumption that home ownership simply isn't possible. Home ownership has never been easy. My parents' generation had challenges. My generation had challenges. Today's buyers have a ton of challenges too. The obstacles change, but the goal doesn't. Owning a place to call home is still one of the best ways to build stability, create long-term wealth, and provide a foundation for your family. So if you're a realtor watching this, think about 3 renters you've talked to in the last 6 months who assumed they couldn't buy. Reach back out to them. Encourage them to have a conversation with a trusted loan officer before they decide the answer is no. They may be much closer to home ownership than they even realize. With that, I will leave you with this quote by Thomas Edison. Opportunity is often missed because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. Well, this has been your mortgage brief for the week. For everyone watching, I hope today is the start of a productive week, and I hope you are proud of the work you are doing. My name is Mark, and I am the Gentleman Broker.